Test, test. There we go. There we go. So there's a weird thing. There's a weird thing with my microphone. My computer is set up that like whenever there's an update that needs to happen, it just does it automatically whenever I'm sleeping. And my microphone doesn't like that. Like if the computer restarts, you have to unplug the microphone and replug it in. And so I don't know when my computer updates itself. You know, it just does it automatically. So every once in a while, I'll just like pop in, start doing whatever, and I don't know that my microphone's off until I reconnect it. So there it is. Thanks for letting me know. All right, so welcome everybody. Welcome Ryan, Alex, Damned, Beanpot, John, 3Run, Ethan, JJ, Steven, Better Luigi, Atla. Hello. Hey everybody. Thanks for joining on the Sunday stream, the Backseat Brew stream. Today is going to be an interesting one because I am super pooped. I've been running on like 4 hours of sleep. I didn't sleep that well. I even went to Tim Hortons and I picked up an ice cap, which if you don't know what an ice cap is, it's 90% sugar and 10% caffeine. And that's going to prop me up for the next 2 hours, I hope. And that's going to carry us through this Backseat Brew. So I just posted on socials and whatnot. And so for people who don't know what a Backseat Brew stream is, basically I give you, the viewers, chat, 4 options of a deck concept. And then you decide, I'll put up a poll and everything, you decide which deck concept you want to see turned into a real deck, and then we just build it together. And we use the deck building checklist. We go through the section by section, keep it nice and organized. Every single time I'm at a section, you just suggest cards, and we build it together. So yeah, that is the idea here. Today, again, like my brain's a little bit fried, so I threw together 2 ideas. One was suggested. And then this one I'm leaving just kind of like as a bonus right now. What format are we building for? We're building Commander. Also, let me know if the music is too loud or not. I have it mostly for my own convenience. But if it's too loud, I can always lower it a bit more. Did we build hams already? Yeah, we did. Tomer, nice job on the lore video. Hey, thanks. I'm glad people are enjoying it and it's doing pretty decent. It was my first attempt at a lore video, and I really like Innistrad lore a lot. If people didn't know, I even wrote like a D&D adventure based on Innistrad. So, oh, I don't see the plants? The plant is over there. It just kind of blocked a bit. Yeah, so the lore video was really fun to do. I hope to do more of them if it's successful. We'll see. We'll see how successful it gets. It needs to hit like Reddit front page or something for it to be really successful, I guess. Because it's like on a Commander channel, it's very random. But we'll see how it goes. If it does well, I'm more than happy to do more of them. That was your video? Yes, it was. Yeah. Yeah, and the plants is alive and well. For now. We're still waiting for that 50k sub goal, you know? And then I'll do a giveaway of some sort. Probably I'll just be giving away plant tokens based on the artwork of the actual plants. So, the 4 options we have today, I have 3 options that I'm going to tell you about right now. And the last one is a wild card. The last one I'm leaving up to you all in chat right now if you suggest something that like piques my interest, something that I'm like excited to build around, and it wouldn't be like too crazy hard for me to build around, I'll throw it up as an option, and then we can vote on it together. So, starting with the options we got here, the first one is 5-drop tribal. And for people who have been watching the stream and just Commander Clash in general, and you know my content, you know that I have a 6-drop tribal deck. Basically, every single non-lane card in the deck has a converted mana cost or mana value, however you want to call it, of 6. Exactly 6. No cheating on it on the commander or whatever. And I have the paper version of it. It's based on Tasigur. Recently, a couple weeks back, we did 7-drop tribal. We brewed it together on stream on a Backseat brew, and then I played it. And, you know, the 7-drop tribal is quite a mess, but it managed to go on stream and win pretty convincingly. Turns out if you let 7-drop tribal get to turn 7, you start dropping bombs. so that's like the impetus for this. I decided we did 6-drop, we did 7-drop. I looked at 8-drop, and while it is doable, you can have a deck out of 8-drop cards. It gets a bit too janky. Like I wouldn't actually want to play it on a stream. 5-drop though, 5-drop is actually pretty legit, honestly. Having everything mana value 5 is actually way easier to do than 6 and definitely 7. So it'd be probably the strongest of the bunch and the easiest to make. And also we have access to powerful, like, you know, we have Karuga and stuff at 5 CMC. So we can even have like a companion and whatnot. And yeah, that could be pretty fun. Pretty easy to do, pretty fun. I think the hardest part would be like we just have so many cards to go through that would be a little bit difficult, but yeah. 1-drop tribal? 1-drop tribal could also work too. I've seen it. Tomer, what do you think is better? What do you think is the better energy commander? Probably Atraxa. There's not a lot of commanders that interact with energy, and Atraxa is one of the few that do. And she gives you access to 4 colors, and since you have a very small card pool with energy, you want to have access to as many colors as possible. I don't know how many good energy cards there are in red, but having access to 4 out of the 5 is probably a really good start. Sorry, folks. Like, oh, throat's messed up. What are you hoping for most in the next Innistrad block lore-wise? I don't really know. I'm glad there's no Eldrazi. I wasn't the biggest fan of Eldraziing up a plane. I wasn't a big fan of it in Zendikar. I wasn't a big fan of it in Innistrad. Those 2 are my favorite planes. So I'm kind of glad that they're kind of going back to the standard. What would I like to see? I don't know. Maybe just like less focus on the planeswalkers, and more focus on like local legends and stuff, and building new characters. I really want to see new characters that are interesting and that are bound to the realm, bound to Innistrad itself, and not just like, you know, tourists like the planeswalkers usually are. My proposal for the wild Kalain Reclusive Painter Rakdos treasure deck hinges upon spending treasures to boost creatures' vast bounty. That could be interesting, yeah. Kalain's a good one. I like Kalain. Shame Tasigur is 6 CMC. I mean, Tasigur is the leader of my 6 CMC deck. So I'm kind of glad he's 6 CMC. Not sure how you would turn this into a deck, but the new card Robe of Stars can do some fun things. Mingara of Corondor and Asmodeus works well when it phases out. That's true. You live with the animation module, decoction. True, true. Having an Atraxa energy deck, but Atraxa herself always draws hate from the other players. So I still haven't won a game with it. I guess so. I mean, Atraxa is something that needs to die, but like, Atraxa is not like the most insane energy enabler, right? She only puts one energy counter per turn cycle, so I don't think it would be that bad if she would die, right? Like, it'd be more terrible if you got like Vandal Blasted or something and all your energy enablers are dead. More fun to balance the Fantastic Demon to search with Shadowborn Apostles. Yeah, true. One drop tribal is CDH since you can't play anything costly due to stacks. 20 cards. Could have Emrakul show up in a bridal dress to crash the wedding. I wouldn't mind that, honestly. What about Cody? All instants and sorceries deck for the wild card? I'm not too interested in Cody. I think I've done a lot of Spellslinger, so just Cody becomes less interesting to me just because of that. Partner pair with Jessica and Falthus. True. New Ulamog, Submission, Skinny Ass Birds. Yeah, pass on the Eldrazi this time. This is a Stone Death. Arkelos, Lagoon Mystic. Interesting. I like Arkelos. Imagine a good werewolf commander. We're definitely gonna get a good werewolf commander. Just hopefully it's not like too ridiculous. I honestly think that Ulrich gets a really bad rap because he's not bad. I mean, I've played a werewolf tribal with him, and he does fine. Karazakar, if available. Unfortunately, the AFC commanders are not available online. The Adventures Forgotten Realms commander cards aren't available online. Really sucks. I'm kind of liking Kalain though. I think I'm gonna put Kalain as a last option. This is a weird one. It's not. It doesn't seem super powerful or anything. But you know, just building some treasure nonsense seems kind of fun. No Precon werewolf deck though. Well, so Gavin's one of the lead designers over at Wizards of the Coast. He did a video explaining why he didn't have a Precon deck. Apparently, it's more like it's mostly a logistics issue, like printing dual-faced cards, which you know werewolves usually are difficult to do in supplemental sets. So it would be difficult for them to do like print those in a commander product, and also they said that they usually have the commander products kind of like enhance mechanics or themes or archetypes that don't get properly showcased in the standard set. And he's like hinting really strongly that you know, Midnight Hunt is going to be a werewolf heavy set, so we're going to get our werewolf commander cards in Midnight Hunt, the standard set, and the commander precons are going to be focusing on stuff that are touched upon in the standard set but don't get fully fleshed out enough in commander. So I wouldn't be too worried or upset about no commander precon, because from what I understand, I would be very surprised if we don't get a lot of commander cards in the standard itself. So I would expect at least one new legendary werewolf commander in the standard set. I would expect, you know, at least like 2 or 3 really good werewolf support cards in the standard set, and a bunch more werewolf cards that you would consider at least in a werewolf deck. You don't really need them in the commander as a commander deck. But yeah, still waiting for Ren and 10. All right, so I'm gonna put Kalain as a final option here. This is the wild card. and then I'll explain the other ones that we got here. So the next one, we got 5-drop tribal, pretty self-explanatory, I guess. The next one is going to be, oh my god, my brain. Enduring Ideal. Enduring Ideal is a very janky card. It's a 7-drop sorcery, and it says search your library for an enchantment card, put it onto the battlefield and shuffle, which is a strong effect. But it also has Epic, and Epic is the cool part about this card. It says for the rest of the game you can't cast spells, and at the beginning of each of your upkeeps, copy this spell except for its Epic ability. So you cast this spell, and then for the rest of the game you can't cast a single spell. You can't even cast your commander in the command zone, from the command zone. So all you're going to be doing every single upkeep, you're going to be casting Enduring Ideal. Very janky, doesn't seem worth it, right? For 7 mana, just getting an enchantment every single turn. However, building a deck around it, it gets a lot more interesting. If you have ways of copying the spell Enduring Ideal while it's on the stack with cards like Twin Cast, for example, you will get, obviously, an extra copy of Enduring Ideal immediately. So you'll get to search your library for 2. For another enchantment and put it onto the battlefield. But then every single upkeep, you're going to be casting 2 Enduring Ideals, 1 extra for every single copy you made off the original spell. Then there's other ways you can get additional versions of it. You can cast like Strionic Resonator, for example. I think it's Strionic Resonator. I think it works that way. Yeah, you make a copy of the spell. So when this upkeep trigger happens, you can you make a copy of Enduring Ideal. You can use Strionic Resonator to copy that copy, and then you get an extra copy of it. You can get extra upkeeps with Paradox Haze because this is an upkeep trigger. So now Paradox Haze says like you get an extra upkeep trigger. You get the Enduring Ideal happens on your first upkeep. You cast the copy of the spell. Then you move on to your second upkeep with Paradox Haze. You cast it again. Twinning Staff is another one to do it. So this was a really old deck of mine that I actually built around Enduring Ideal. And it was a Zedru deck. Because I own a Zedru deck. It's the first deck I ever owned, and I've rebuilt it a billion times. And the idea behind Zedru is you have access to white for Enduring Ideal, you have access to blue, and you have access to red to have the best copy effects. So you would, generate a ton of mana, cast Enduring Ideal, copy it as many times as possible, and then you start, you try to set up this combo. It's a very jank combo. It's Form of the Dragon, which is a terrible card. Form of the Dragon says, it's a 7-mana enchantment. It says, at the beginning of your upkeep, Form of the Dragon deals 5 damage to any target. So, upkeep trigger, 5 damage. But also at the beginning of your end step, your life total becomes 5, which is pretty low in Commander. Creatures without flying can't attack you, but you're still pretty vulnerable. Now, this card is pretty trash by itself. However, when you pair it with another card, Second Chance, it says at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, you sacrifice Second Chance and take an extra turn after this one. So, the turn at end step, Form of the Dragon puts you down to 5, and then on your next upkeep, if you have a Second Chance on the battlefield, you can sacrifice it and take an extra turn. So, you go down to 5, which is pretty risky, but then you take an extra turn and you sacrifice Second Chance. And now the next step that you need is you need a way to return Second Chance back to the battlefield. And there's a couple ways of doing it. The enchantment ways of doing it, like Starfield of Nyx, for example. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that's another way of making sure Second Chance comes back. And then you can just take infinite turns. And it's pretty funny. This deck was made gosh, I don't know how many years ago at this point. And at the time, I felt like Zedru was the best option for it, just because of mostly for the colors, but also because since you can't cast any spells, if Zedru is on the battlefield, you can at the very least use some of your mana to give your opponent some stuff and then draw extra cards and gain some life. which is it's a little bit cute. It's not amazing, but it's kind of cute. I'd probably swap it out for like Kaikar or something at this point, or maybe there's something even better that works with enduring idea these days. But that's kind of the gist of it. It's a very janky deck. It's a one-trick pony, but the trick is very funny, I think. All right, so the next one is something that unfortunately isn't available online, so I wouldn't be able to play it. Spy Skit. I wouldn't be able to play it online because it's not available online, but it is a really cool deck. This is basically building around the card Spy Kit, which is one of my favorite equipments in all of Magic history. This card says the equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has names of all non-legendary creature cards in addition to its name. I did a short on this, showing how to basically use Spy Kit for value. You can do some like basic stuff like retraced image. If you have like any creature in your hand, a non-legendary creature in your hands, and you have a creature equipped with Spy Kit, you can just pay 1 blue to put that non-legendary creature immediately onto the battlefield. But you can do better things like Verdant. I think it's Verdant Succession. Yeah, Verdant Succession. It says whenever a green non-token creature dies, that creature's controller may search your library for a card with the same name as that creature, put it onto the battlefield. So generally speaking, this card doesn't really do much in a singleton format. I don't even know if there's any green cards, green creatures that you could put in that get around the singleton rule. Like there's no Shadowborn Apostle that I know of in green. But if you equip the green creature with Spy Kit, then anytime that creature would die, you just immediately, put into play any non-legendary creature directly onto the battlefield, which is absolutely hilarious. So you could just sacrifice a Arbor Elf, a Llanowar Elf or something like a 1/1 mana dork. Sacrifice it and put in a Crater Hoof or something like that. So that's pretty funny. But the best thing that I like, the reason why I get super excited about it is Arden Intrepid Archaeologist. Arden allows you to actually equip your equipment to any target, permanent, or player, or legal target, so it'd be creatures. So you can actually equip Spy Kit onto opposing creatures, and this becomes interesting when you I forget the name of it. Extirpate? When you have something that you can remove that creature and be extra nasty. I'm forgetting the name of the card. If anybody remembers, it's a black sorcery from Kamigawa. And it basically says exile target creature. Eradicate? Is it eradicate? Yes, that's the one. Exile target non-black creature. Searches controls graveyard, hand, and library for all cards with the same name as the creature and exile them. So just imagine you have your opponent has a non-black creature on the battlefield, right? Any non-black creature. You equip Spy Kit onto that creature with Arden, then you cast Eradicate on it. It will exile that creature, and then it will exile all creatures, all non-legendary creatures from the graveyard, hand, and library. It gets even meaner if, let's say, you animate an opponent's forest or whatever. And let's say they're a forest heavy deck. Let's say they're a mono green deck. You animate their forest, you equip the Spy Kit onto that animated forest, and then you just blow it up with Eradicate. You get rid of all their forests and all their non-legendary creatures from their deck. It's just mean. It's so mean. I love it. It's just so mean. Boy. So the sad thing is that we can't play it online. I won't ever be able to show it on Commander Clash. I won't be able to show it on the stream, which, wizards please, but it's a very funny. I think it's a very funny deck concept. So yeah. It's mean, but they can't be angry because it's so janky. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be that upset, at least the first time around. If you're just like doing this over and over again, I'd be like, come on, man. Well, actually, after the first time you do it, people are just gonna exile Spy Kit, and then you're done, right? So doesn't even really work on Webcam Commander. I mean, you can make it work, but I think that the concept of like having to go through your entire library and exile all non-legendary creatures is just feel bad. But oh man, is that just a kick in the teeth, you know? All right. So the final option here, folks. I don't know how long we've been streaming. We've been streaming 30 minutes. All right. The final option here, before we open up the polls, is the wild card that I chose. It was suggested by chat. Kalain, Reclusive Painter. Kalain doesn't look too intimidating. This is just a Rakdos 1/2. But it enters the battlefield with a treasure token, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, whenever you cast a creature, it will enter the battlefield with additional +1/+1 counters on them for each treasure spent to cast them. So this would be like pretty heavy on treasure tokens as a theme, which is cool. Not a lot of decks are actually like focused on treasure tokens as an actual thing, and they are most prevalent in black and red. And then you can also incorporate a +1/+1 counter theme as well. I'm not sure how that would happen, but it's something that is something that I haven't really researched myself, but I feel like it could be low-key pretty solid. And you know, outside of a couple cards that are like super expensive, like, you know, Dockside Extortionist is really expensive, and what's like that black and common pirate is like stupid expensive right now. There's a couple like expensive treasure ones, but like most of the treasure cards that are pretty okay to play are actually pretty cheap, so it would be fine. Chatterfang, I've already done Chatterfang. Delina, I've also already done Delina. Blim is an interesting one. I'm not going to be doing it this time though, but I might put it up as an option for a future stream. It is also available online, which is nice. All right, so those are the 4 options that I have for you today. And now I'm going to be setting up a straw poll with the 4 options. You will get to choose, vote on which option piques your interest the most. And we're going to build it together on stream, and it'll be great. So all right, choose your deck. 5-drop Tribal, Enduring Ideal, Spy Kit, and Kalain, Reclusive Painter. Well, I'll say like Kalain Treasures. It's a little bit more descriptive, I suppose. All right, let me share it with y'all. We're going to post it in the document, and also I'm going to post it in the chat. The votes are rigged. We're going to give the voting 10 minutes. 10 minutes is about good. And then we'll set about building it. Ah, good old liquid sugar. Ice caps. I haven't had ice cap in like, I want to say over a decade, but if you really need to wake up super fast and you don't care about crashing immediately afterwards, ice caps, they're the way to go. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. So we're gonna leave this poll for 10 minutes. I'm not gonna see what the results are. I'm gonna keep it a nice little secret for myself, you know. But if you vote, you'll get to see what's winning and losing, you know. You'll need to live for about 2 hours for the stream anyway. Yeah, that's true. I feel like by the end of the stream, I'm gonna take a nap, and well, I don't even know how. I don't even know if I'll take a nap. It might ruin my sleep schedule for the next day. I think I just have to power through it for like, I don't know, 6 more hours, and then I just go to bed at 9. Until we're American south of Michigan only learned about Tim Hortons in the last decade. I mean, that's a large amount of time. I'm not saying like also not saying like Tim Hortons is like amazing or anything. It's just like a Canadian version of McDonald's. But their ice caps are a good way to fight off sleep. We really need a Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter selection theme to play during our many votes on the stream. I've actually built a Street Fighter deck before. It was based on fighting and Clash. Yeah, the Clash cards mostly sucked, but the fight cards are pretty good. Especially now that we have the Jumpstart. I think it's the Gruul or Naya. It is Gruul. The Gruul Jumpstart commander that draws you cards for fighting. Drawing cards to do anything is usually a good way to make an archetype viable. That's what I'm going to expect the Werewolf Commander going to be. I would expect the Werewolf Commander in Midnight Hunt is going to be just like whenever you play a werewolf, draw a card. Whenever you play a wolf, draw a card. Whenever you transform, draw 2 cards. And then everybody will be like, all right, this is good. All right, this is fine. And it will cost 2 mana, and everybody will be fine. Actually, you know what? On my just because we're gonna be killing a little bit of time, and I was on a tangent. There's actually like one werewolf that I swear, if I could have went back in time, I would have just made this a legendary creature and given it green. This is what the best werewolf commander, in my opinion, should have been. It's this one. It's Gyre Reach Bandit. 3 mana, so pretty cheap. Haste 3/2, who cares, whatever. But when it transforms, bada boom, bada boom. At the beginning of each whenever a werewolf enters the battlefield under your control, you may transform it. It's so simple, but it's so good. That's all we needed. I think that if I could have made any werewolf legendary and added green to it, like make it Gruul, it would have been Gyre Reach Bandit. Like it seemed like a slam dunk in my opinion. But I guess maybe like they weren't focusing on a commander as much back then. And instead we got Ulrich of the Kalain Horn, which again, I'm going to go on record to say Ulrich is not a bad werewolf commander. People think he's bad because, you know, he's not overpowered, I guess. And he doesn't do anything to help werewolves. And I think the latter part is the one that I definitely sympathize with and agree with. He doesn't help werewolves. And people were wanting a werewolf commander, so we got a werewolf commander after round 2 of Innistrad. And he doesn't actually help commanders. But despite all that, he's still a house. I play him, and he always does some serious work. You know, he's 5 mana, whatever. He's a little expensive, but when he flips, he kills something, and he's a 6/6, and he hits hard. And even when he enters the battlefield, he's still pumping up creatures. He's amazing pressure and repeatable removal. Like it's good. He's a good card. He's a good commander for werewolves. I don't know, and like I don't know when people are like, we need like a super overpowered werewolf commander. It's like, it's werewolves, guys. It's not a powerful archetype. I don't think it's supposed to be a powerful archetype. It's if you like werewolves, you make a werewolf deck. We don't need like Edgar Markov of werewolf commanders. I think that would be pretty bad, actually. But yeah, something like this is so clean, such a clean design. Look how many lines of text it has. So little. They even have time for flavor. Look, they have time for flavor text. Imagine in 2021. You have a commander that has room for flavor text. Imagine, crazy. I don't know. I love this. I love this card. If I could just like errata it to be a Gruul and a legendary. Oh gosh. Have you tried at least the green? Have you tried or at least seen the fight commander from Gemstart, the green one? Yes. I think I've built a deck around it already. At the very least, we've played it a couple times on Commander Clash. It's really good. It's a good one. Level the card. I think that the push werewolf commander needs flash to really bring 2 spells, no spells mechanic. Maybe flash is good too. I wanted to play commander out stream, and he sent me a Discord invite, but I don't see where on the Discord to sign up and play on the stream. You have to send me your Discord name, and when you do, I give you just access to it. You can't see it otherwise. It's like a little secret club. Well, not really a secret club. It's just I curate it to make sure that it's like focused on organizing future streams. But yeah, just like send me an email with your Discord name, and I will get around to it probably on Monday, or I mean maybe later today. I don't know if I'm gonna crash immediately after the stream, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I'll get you sorted out for it. All right, 7 minutes. We have 3 more minutes. Yeah, I think the one thing I really don't want from the commander is I want a werewolf commander. I want it to affect werewolves, but I don't want another Edgar Markov. Do not want another one of these. Please, no wizards. It is too strong, and I don't like it, and I do not like any of it. It is bad. Bad. I mean, like, if you like Edgar Markov, I mean, more power to you. But I just don't think we need commanders this strong, personally. Personally, that would not appeal to me. If I saw a werewolf commander that was the werewolf version of Edgar Markov, I would not want to play it, personally. Alright. Wait. Asked 8 minutes ago. At least we know it won't have eminence. It's not actually in the precons. Yes, it will have standard, friendly mechanics. It won't have anything referencing the command zone, which I think is good. Last time I went to build Spy Kit, it wasn't on MTGO, made me sad. Yes, Spy Kit is not available on MTGO. I will never be able to play showcase its coolness on a commander clash or stream. That's a big downside of it, because I love the equipment to death, but my chances of actually playing it are very slim to none. Maybe I need to build like a physical deck around Spy Kit, and that'll just scratch that itch, you know. But I already have one equipment deck. I could make another equipment deck. It doesn't actually have to be an equipment deck, though. All I know is that Arden would be one of the partners leading it. I don't know what the other colors would be. It really depends. I think it would be like a 2-color one, just so I have access to more cool things. But like Kamal is really interesting. I think something with green in it and something with black in it would be pretty solid. So whatever ones fit in that mold, I guess. I think it's like Ikra Shadiki and something. Maybe one other one. Rayhan. I found out recently Edgar's like $60 US. Why did that happen? Not a lot of printings of Edgar. He was only printed in 2017. And he's one of the strongest commanders. He's definitely up there on one of the strongest commanders, like outside of CDH. And vampires are very popular as a tribe, and he's the best vampire tribal commander by a long shot. So that is why he's $50. He didn't even get a reprint, huh? You know, just one printing. That's how it does it. Tomer, do you think there's too many precons? I don't know. I feel like I like the precons where like they just try to explore a silly mechanic. We've been seeing that a lot recently, where like they use the precons not to like. How do I say this properly? They're using the precons basically to flesh out mechanics that otherwise you wouldn't have enough support to build an entire deck around. Like when we look at the AFR commanders, the Forgotten Realms commanders, they had one that showcases treasures a little bit. Prosper kind of showcases treasures. Not the greatest example, but it also showcases Exile Matters, another thing that we haven't really seen before, and it adds a bunch of cards for both those two things. The best one though is the Esper one is focusing on venturing into the dungeon, and it gives us 3 colors to work with, and it adds a couple extra cards for venturing into the dungeon. Is the commander great? No, but if you want to build a deck based on venturing onto the dungeon, it is by far your best option. If you didn't have that deck and you just had the standard set, you would have like the Azorius option. You would have Acereric, which is not even that much venturing. It's mostly just focused on comboing. And it would be slim pickings. You wouldn't really have a really fleshed out dungeon deck. And I think that's like the biggest issue with these new standard sets that come with new mechanics. I know, like, for example, a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but like a vocal minority really like energy as a mechanic. And I always hear from people like, we don't have a good energy commander, and we don't have enough energy cards to make a full deck, even though I like it. Well, if Kaladesh came out in 2021, what you would have seen is a Precon that gave you an energy commander, and you would have had enough to make an energy deck. Would the deck be ridiculously strong? No, hopefully not. But it would appeal to like a small subsection of people who really want to build energy. So as long as they're making commander precons where they're focusing on like a small mechanic that is showcased in the accompanying standard set, and it just doesn't have enough support in that standard set to flesh it out in commander, I think that's good. I like those. Those more of those, please. Those are great because they don't push the envelope in terms of commander as a whole. They just allow people to explore other archetypes where otherwise it would be difficult or impossible to do so in a 99 card singleton deck. Yeah, like food cards would be great. Imagine if Korvold was literally, instead of just like drawing a card from any card, anything you sacrificed, you only drew a card whenever you sacrifice a food. And let's say like you could bump down his mana value to 3 or whatever. That would have been great. Imagine if Kalain actually focused on adventure cards instead of any creature entering the battlefield. That would have been great too. I think those would have been really interesting commanders, powerful in their archetype, but they goofed. They made it open-ended instead of Korvold being a food commander like he should have been. I think early design probably had him as a food commander. His entire lore, his mechanics and everything is about eating. Like he's eating stuff. That's what he's doing. He's eating things. He transformed them, and he probably ate the banquets, the gifts, and the guests. He's fake cursed. He's cursed to eat stuff, I guess. You could even see in the artwork, he's probably going to be nom-nomming on these 3 unfortunate individuals in front of him. If he was focusing on food, he would have been fine. You could have even dropped him down to a 3 mana commander, and he would still be good, but he'd still be like food. He'd be food related. Same thing with Kalain. If Kalain was actually focused on adventures, like his mechanics kind of interpret, like, you would play a creature spell with adventure on it. You would, draw a card and put a land on the battlefield. That's great. And then you could return it back to your hand and then cast it on the adventure sorcery side or sorcery instant side, and then, keep doing that. It would be a cool engine. That's what Kalain's all about, but they made him open-ended, and he's not that great. So my point being is that I like the precons when they're focused on, like, making a small archetype more viable in Commander. That's how I like it. So, anywho, now it's 15 minutes. We're going to check out the results. Oh, I actually didn't expect this. Kalain Treasures. Okay. Corvo could have still been open-ended. +1/+1 counters from Sang, but draw cards only from food. I like that as well, too. That would have been cool. That's a really nice compromise. Or it still makes you want to play a food deck, but you can still fill it out with sacrifice themes, and you'd still be good. but you'd still be encouraged to at least run food to, you know, like jump through a hoop to get that value. That would have been really cool. And I think people would still like him and he would still be played, but it would make like food as an archetype more of an interesting thing, whereas, you know, the only cards that people care about food-wise is like the Academy Manufacturer and stuff, you know, where incidentally makes food tokens to combo off. Only the most busted things are available. All right, Kalain Treasures. I did not expect Kalain to win, honestly, but I'm excited to find out how it's going to work out. Enduring Ideal is probably going to make it to the next brew, and I'm probably going to be adding Blim. I saw some mentioning of Blim as another option, so you can imagine Enduring Ideal and Blim are both going to make it to next week's Backseat brew, probably. All right, so we're going to be building a deck around Kalain. And yes, we are an hour into the stream, and we're going to start brewing now. Sorry. I am so tired. Okay, let's do it. Kalain. Oh, what's the budget range on this? I didn't even ask. I'm thinking maybe like $100. I feel like $100 is going to be pretty easy to make it. Like, we're going to miss Dockside at that point, but we probably even have Pitiless Plunderer and whatnot. Do we want to go higher than that though? Do we want to like go like no budget, go Dockside, go everything, or do we want this to go kind of budget friendly? That's a big question here. Unlimited budget. All right, Rebecca, I see you. I like some budget, you know. I don't want to just like start throwing in like reserve list cards willy-nilly, but like I could go high. I could go like 500. But I just don't want to put like, you know, Badlands or something. What's a black red duel? Badlands? I think it's Badlands. Budget SM. Budget with Dockside not counting to total. Yeah, it's an uncommon commander too. He's a cheapo, you know? Kind of feels fitting that it would be too expensive. Alright. Here's how we're gonna do it, friends. We're gonna go through a deck building checklist. I'm gonna go through section by section just to keep things nice and organized. And as I'm in every single section, just feel free. Feel free. There we go. Why did it take me so long to say that? Feel free to suggest cards within that category, just to keep it nice and organized. Trust me, we will get through all of the card suggestions eventually. It's just like a nice way to keep things moving and grooving at a normal pace. So we're gonna start with the lands. You know, not the most exciting thing, I know, but it has to be done. Every single deck needs their lands. So what are some good lands? T produces equals BR and T land. I like doing that as just finding like the cheap duels and whatnot first. Do treasure tokens count as ramp? Kind of. I think it's like a case by case basis. I think as a 2-color deck, we don't really need like the craziest amount of fixing. Like, we could get away with a decent amount of basics and whatnot, so we don't have to spend that much on it. But I'm gonna add like a couple of like the better ones, you know. Smoldering Marsh, that's a good one. Dragon Skull Summit, that's a good one. There's the Tainted Peak. I like Tainted Peak a whole bunch. Treasure Vault is definitely on theme. You know what? I'm gonna go for 50 for now. I'm gonna say 50 for now. We'll update it as we go. How about that? Dragon Skull is kind of expensive. Why is Treasure Vault so expensive? What's going on? Why is it? What? Who plays this? What? I am disappointed in this. Yeah, but look at the decks playing it. There's one standard deck. Man, that's rough. That's rough. Affinity's not even on this list though. All right, fine. Be expensive. What do I care? Hey, Christoph, how's it going? We'll add the Canyon Sleuth. Slow? Soft? What does this add to deck thing? Are we doing Prosper? No, we're doing Kalain. Man, it gets so pricey so fast with some of these cards. Oh, Blood Crypt's super expensive. Did not realize. We don't need the Sleuth. We'll just add some of the cheaper... We'll add some of the cheaper ones. Are you cheap? I'm kind of cheap. Ugh. I'm never too sure about the filter lands. I don't really like them, but they do come into play untapped. They don't really tap for anything by themselves, though. I don't like them. I've decreed that I do not like them. I think a couple tap lands that fix are gonna be fine. Ooh, indestructible lands are kind of cool. Whoa, Foreboding Ruins, super cheap. Not bad. Not a bad pickup at all. Okay, so I feel like we're not gonna spend extra on the Dragon Skull Summit. The Marsh I like. The Malice is kind of meh. Oh, Command Tower is good, yes. Command Tower, Path of Ancestry. Yeah, those are too good. Is Spire of Industry. That's cheap. I don't know. No. I don't think it's worth it. Like, we don't really need the mana fixing that much, right? We're two color. I think this is fine. I think this is a fine thing. Like, we just don't need. Yeah, we'll get a Scavenger Grounds in there. Maybe like a Thespian Stage. I don't know how expensive that is these days. Meh. Glimmer Void. I just no. These are also like first of all, I just don't think like we don't value that mana fixing that much. It's a 2-color deck. We don't want it to just like randomly explode if we don't have any artifacts on the battlefield. That's what seems bad. I think Bajuka Bog, Scavenging Grounds. Maybe we'd even like take out the Scavenging Grounds because we'll probably add a bunch of stuff on our own. This seems fine. This is a good start. All right, and then the rest is just going to be swamps and mountains. Just guesstimating. 36 is a good start. All right. Next up, we got ramp. Hit me with your ramp. And we'll start with where's the talisman showing up? Talisman doesn't show up on this? Whoop. Rakdos Signet. Talisman. Is it Talisman of Indulgence, I think? First Warning Paladin's good. I think Velwar Stone's like more than $3. No, it's actually okay. Got reprinted. That's cool. And Bucknard's Everfull Purse. I'm gonna avoid it just because, I guess we'll put it in here, and then I'll have to make swaps when I play it online. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can make some swaps here. Captain Lannery Storm. Yeah, that could work. I think Gadrick would be sweet. Magda. How much is Magda? Magda's not that expensive. Cool. I like Prying Blade. What's the other one? It's like Gold Pickaxe? Gold Pickaxe? That's not it. Gold Vein Pick, that's the one. Heck yeah. Okay. I think this is a good start. Probably take out the bauble. Keep the rest for now. Bucknard's Everfull. Is it double L? Yeah. Okay. Zorn. Yes. Zorn's budget. Okay. Next up, We got a good amount of mana at this point. Card draw. How are we gonna draw cards in this deck? I guess there's gonna be some cyclers that I'm interested in, but they're not really card draw. Do any of these draw cards? Yee. Deadly Dispute. That's kind of cool. Painful Truce. I like that. How much is Treasure Map? Nah, no. Sacrificing 3 treasures to draw cards seems kind of bad, but it is on theme. It is a lot of treasures to get a card though, but it is on theme. Does Fane draw cards? Did I skip that? Sacrifice a creature, move a counter, create a treasure token. No. Oh, Skullport Merchant's insane. This is a crazy good card. Yeah. Maybe I cut Ruthless Knave. I don't think this card's good. This is too much. Sacrifice a creature, create 2. It is a sack outlet. Like, I like the first part more than the second part. I'm just gonna hold it on there just for the sake of it for now. I mean, Treasure Chest could draw us cards. It's not very good at doing so. I will throw in the Windfall. I don't count. It's not really card draw, but I will throw it in there just because we are here. And we're gonna also add Seize the Spoils now. I mean, Trading Post isn't terrible here either, especially on a budget. Yeah, it's cheap. You can pay 1 and sacrifice an artifact to draw a card. That's not a bad deal, honestly. I will throw in a Siphon Mind. I do like Siphon Mind. Deadly Dispute makes a treasure. Costly Plunder. Oh, it's a Deadly Dispute that doesn't make a treasure. I got you. This is a card draw section, right? Yes. Ooh, Idol of Oblivion's kind of cute. I like Idol of Oblivion. That's cute. Village rights. Yeah, only have to you have to sacrifice a creature though. Bloom the Forbidden. I want to sacrifice treasures. Yeah, this is also sacrificing creatures. I'm not sold on the sacrifice creatures plane just yet. But I'm liking this. Idol of Oblivion's is definitely a hot pickup. Casket? Yeah, no, this costs too much. I mean, manufacture. If it's not that expensive, it's $4. It makes us clues and food, which is good. It might be just be worth to drop it in, but I wouldn't consider it really card draw so much as like a value engine. I think I'm just gonna throw in like a Read the Bones. Read the Bones is never bad. Marionette Master is a finisher. We'll get the finishers over here. Don't worry about it. We're working on card draw right now. I think I'm gonna throw in like Faithless Looting, because I like it. It's not really card draw, but Bag of Holding kind of turns it into card draw. Bag of Devouring. Bag of Devouring. Whenever you sacrifice another non-token artifact or creature, but you can so you exile it. This is pretty decent. You can pay 2 to sacrifice a treasure to draw a card. Not terrible. God Eternal Bontu. This is also sacrificing creatures, right? It's not artifacts. Oh, it's permanents. It's kind of expensive, but it is closer to what I want. How expensive is it? I can throw it on here, but it's probably gonna get cut. We're already like past our price point. Oh, it's only $3.90. All right, I'll leave it there for now. Night's Whisper is better than most of these. Yeah, but Night's Whisper is like $5 now. Trust me, I love Night's Whisper, but yeah, look at that price. Cheapest is pushing $5. Woof. All right. We'll move on from the card draw. We'll move to removal. And let's see what removal we got. I'm gonna browse the removal here if there's anything good. This is kind of interesting. It's really slow, but it's kind of interesting. Do we want to run like a 5-mana sorcery kill spell? It's on brand at the very least. I don't think it's good, but it's on brand. And there's also Grim Bounty. I like me a shiny Impetus. Ooh, I totally forgot about Horde Robber as potential ramp in the deck. I like that. I've been impressed with like Horde Robber and especially Hoarding Ogre. I thought this card like overperformed a lot, at least in limited, but you know, I think you'll be able to find some attacks with that, so I'm fine with that. Oh, I didn't even add Pirate's Pillage, did I? Draw 2 cards, create 2, and then this was Seize the Spoils. I'm gonna toss that in there as well. All right, I definitely want Pitiless Plunderer. That's a great one. Or sorry, Plundering Barbarian. Guild, 4-drop exile and creature. Is it a treasure or is it a what's it called? Gold. It's a gold. I mean, it's not terrible. It still does a thing, right? Impulsive Pilferer. This is not removal. Surly Badgersaur. I think Surly Badgersaur has some potential here. I've added a bunch of like looters, so I think the Badgersaur has got that thing. Terminate is a solid. Yeah, I'll throw in a Terminate. Terminate's solid. Bedevil. Bedevil's good. I like me a Biforce. What are we making? We're making Kalain Reclusive Painter. Feed the Swarm, also very good, yeah. It's a way to deal with artifacts. Or sorry, enchantments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Murderous Rider benefits with the commander. Could be good. Removal on bodies is good with Kalain. Yeah, that's true. Ooh, Rakdos Charm. I love Rakdos Charm. Grim Hireling's in the deck. Yeah, we do. Maybe add a Shriek Maw instead of like a Terminate or something. How much is Prosper? $2. You know what? Let's put in Prosper. It's kind of slow. Beginning and intercept, you can exile, but I like Prosper. I'm gonna throw him into the pile of card draw. Nadier. Agent of Duskanel. So 6 mana. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield. This is not removal. He's just a beater. I don't care about him. How do you win with it? Win con. We're getting there. All right, so we did the target removal. We're gonna add some board wipes. There was at least one board wipe that was treasure related. Where are you? Reckless Endeavor. That seems fun. It's not like a terrible board wipe all by itself, and then it's just like really on theme, you know? I think we just want like 2, you know, just 2. Is there another one that's on theme? Blasphemous Acts. I think we just go for like Chain Reaction at that point, because Chain Reaction is a lot cheaper. Ooh, Mayhem Delval. I totally forgot about Mayhem Delval. We'll put that in the target removal section. Armix. You could suggest it. Let's check it out. Armix Filigree Thrasher. You may discard a card when you do target creature against a number of creatures you control plus number of army. Yeah, I like Armix a lot. This is a good one. Thank you. Let's throw it in there as well. Maybe we take out like Guild. We're at. Nah. Yeah, we got those in there. Okay, cool. Arcbound has some Potential, yes. Yes. This is pretty good. We're gonna keep moving on. For graveyard recursion, is there any treasure related graveyard recursion? I don't think so, right? I could be wrong. Ooh, how much is Pitiless Plunder? I totally forgot. Oh my god. Is it really $13 now? Are you for real? Wow, you are for real. Jeez. Okay, cool. The car is gold, yes. Bum. I kind of like the Fane thing going on here, actually. I'm gonna throw Fane in here. He just like you could get a +1/+1 counter on a creature with Kalain, and then you could remove it to make a treasure token. Actually, maybe it's a little bit too cute. Yeah, it's probably a little bit too cute, isn't he? Yeah. No. What are you going to do next on the lore videos? Is the next Innistrad set, or are you going to need to explain the Eldrazi Gatewatch first? I'll probably just do Shadows over Innistrad. I don't need to explain the Eldrazi in depth. I just have to be like, you know, Eldrazi were imprisoned on Zendikar. Nahiri and Sorin had an agreement with Ugin to, you know, come back whenever they would be released. Sorin reneged. He was a little bit of a dick. Nahiri blew up on his face. She got in prison. Yada yada. Yeah, I don't need to go into depth about like Zendikar or Ulamog or stuff like that. I'll leave that for a different video, I think. But I'll touch upon them for sure. Nah. Also, it's probably too expensive. I mean, we don't really have any +1/+1 counter themes outside of Kalain, so I don't really want to go hard on that. I was mostly focusing on like the treasure aspect of it and sacrificing that for value and whatnot. What is the subject of today's deck? It is Kalain Reclusive Painter, which makes our creatures a little bit beefier, you know. And we have them treasure synergies as well, which is all fun and good. How much is Phyrexian Reclamation? Is this another card that just never got reprinted? I have a feeling it is. $3, man. All right, let's not do that one. What are some cheap ones? Is Goblin Welder cheap still? Come on. Ready, Scrap Savant? Hey, okay, all right, there it is. There's a cheapo. What if I like say like sacrifice artifact? Because we're gonna have a lot of treasure tokens. How else are we going to sacrifice them for value? Reveal the cards from the top of your library until you reveal an artifact card. Put that on the battlefield. The rest of them that could deal a lot of damage to us. It could deal a lot of damage to us. Yeah, probably not worth it. Unless we have like a lot more artifacts. Sacrifice an artifact, choose one, exile the top card of the library until that turn. I like this as like incremental draw. That's kind of neat. That's kind of cute, right? Maybe it's a little bit too cute, but it's fine. I think it's fine. We already got Costly Plunder in there. All right, sacrifice an artifact. You do destroy target artifact creature. Are you? Oh my god. Never mind. Dargo's kind of cute. I usually don't jump ahead like this, but I am just like searching for some specific things right now. I was hoping there was going to be a cheaper Goblin Welder effect, but it seems like that ship has sailed. Maybe Goblin Engineer, but we just don't have enough stuff that's worth picking up from it. Or do we? Maybe it's worth it, actually. Maybe it's worth it. We just like grab a bag of holding or something, and that's kind of decent. So we have the ready. We have Goblin Engineer. Hi, I'm leaving early. Just want to say that I'm really looking forward to this tech. Awesome. I'm glad you popped in, Kafis, and you'll always have always have the end result afterwards too, when the stream is finished. Oh, I actually like Herald of Anguish thing too. How expensive are you? Please don't be expensive. Good. I didn't realize there's a lot of like cool things we can be doing with artifact synergies in Rakdos. I just forgot about. Forge Master is actually pretty kind of expensive, but I was gonna go to tutors after this, so I'm just gonna throw a tutor in here. Let's throw in the tutor. Don't mind me. I'm forging ahead, like I say not to do, but I'm doing it because I'm just looking for stuff. So recursion-wise, we have like trading post. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like this. This is a cool removal spell. Maybe not good enough, but okay. So, how are we gonna get back? Is there any cheap way of getting back creatures? I would like to get creatures from the graveyard. I guess Unearth is pretty decent, but what's the budget? It's $50. So I'm gonna have to like cut down heavily because we're at 70 already. Victimize? I like Victimize. Hopefully Victimize ain't too bad. Phyrexian Reclamation is like $4. Strands of Night I just don't think is good here. But Victimize is good. We'll have a lot of cheap. Ooh, it's cheap. Heck yeah, it's cheap. All right, cool. All right, we're pretty good with this. I think this is a good a graveyard recursion package a little bit. Flexible tutors. Flexible tutors. I put in the Forge Master, which honestly, as I'm looking at the stuff we're going to be getting out of the Forge Master, probably not worth it at the moment. It's $4. Scrapyard Recombiner. I just threw it in there because like we could easily get stuff out of it. It can get constructs though, which is very limiting. Currently, we have one construct. Probably not going to be worth it. Is there any tutor that's like on theme for Kalain? I can't think of any, right? Isn't this basically just Rakdos Gyomi? Well, Gyomi is food. This is treasure, But yeah, you're pretty much right. How much is Wishclaw Talisman? Inventor's Fair is too expensive. Wishclaw Talisman has potential. We do have ways of sacrificing artifacts for value, but it's a little bit too cute. Like, I think I would usually just cast Diabolic Tutor, I think. Pirate Tutor. Do we have enough pirates? I think the Pirate Tutor could be legit, yeah. We got 1 pirate, 2 pirates. I don't think it's enough. Like, we have Dargo and stuff if we're gonna have a finisher. Vargoth. Vargoth could actually be interesting because we could make him big enough that it would be just annoying for people to block him. But I'm just gonna type Varrochild. No. Vargoth. Varagothe. Because like we could potentially cast him with 3 treasures and make him a 5/6. That took me a while. Field to Beyond works flavorfully with Kalain's character, yeah. Maybe we just throw like a Diabolic Tutor and just call it a day, honestly. We don't even really need that many tutors. I don't know. I don't know. This deck is pretty consistent. It's not like trying to assemble a specific combo or anything. I'm not gonna worry about the tutors too much, honestly. I'm not gonna worry about it. If there was something that like worked perfectly and was cheap, then I would throw it in there. But like, yeah, Diabolic Intent would be good. Vargoth would be good, but they're all just kind of like a little bit expensive. I think Vargoth is like the closest to something that I would want, though. I think Vargoth's pretty solid, especially because we probably want to add a way to give my the stuff haste. Haste enablers would be good. We'll probably put in anger or whatever, but Dreadhorde Arcanist. Dreadhorde is played in Legacy though, right? I think it's expensive. It's not that bad. Rebecca, we're getting to finishers really soon. I promise you we will get there. We're actually getting there very close. So Graveyard Hate, we've already added Bajuka Bog and Rakdos Charm. I think 2 options here are pretty darn good. So yeah, now we will get to the finishers, and yes, Rebecca, we're going to be adding the Marionette Master. As soon as I figure out how to spell it. First time, every time. Oh, and it is a cheapo one too, because it got reprinted in the Prosper deck. Okay. So now we're gonna start like adding the fiddly bits that we still need. I think anger is like a given, considering how many ways we have of putting anger into the graveyard. He's only $1.32, which is good. There's gonna be some cleanup that's required here. We're at 85. We can easily get down to 50 though. The first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting the treasure vault, which it's very much on theme and everything, but spending like $7 for a land, and also it's not even the best land. Like, it's very much on theme, but we don't really have anything to do with artifacts. Like, I mean, we do have stuff to do with artifacts. It is a good card. It is a good card, but you know, activating it to make the treasures is a little bit tough for most decks, I would say. We're not doing anything particular crazy with that, so we're just going to add another mountain. So that's going to save us $7. The Thespian stage we probably don't need either. I like it as just like a good utility thing. We had probably... I like these. I'll probably cut the temple in the Thespian stage, and I'll just put in two more basics for them instead. We have a lot of basics, but it is a 2-color deck, so I think we should just be fine. And we have a lot of fixing too, with all our treasure stuff. So that there we saved a decent chunk of change there. I think the Talisman of Indulgence, these are good cards. I think we can cut an Ever-Flowing Chalice as well. Actually, we could probably cut... Sorry, I'll cut the Talisman of Indulgence. Because at this point, we have a lot of ways of generating an insane amount of treasures. We're going to help us kind of like smooth out our turns a lot. So we'll cut that. I like Reckless Endeavor. I'm not like huge on contract killing, but it is cheap. I like these cards. Chain Reaction is good. See the spoils, read the bones, nice. I like Painful Truth as a way to like we could draw 3 off it by just paying a treasure for that. That's I think really cool. Bedevil's good and cheap. So these are all good cards. I like Herald of Anguish a lot here too. We can improvise with our treasures, which I think is really cute. Ooh, what's the card? Inspiring Statuary. Yes, Enrico. I was literally thinking about that right now. Inspiring Statuary this is one of the decks where it's really good. It's $4. It's expensive, but I'll leave it here because it is pretty insane in this deck. Witch's Cottage is also a nice one too. Yes, we have enough swamps for it to be pretty consistent. Let's put in a Witch's Cottage. Okay, so Inspiring Statuary, I would like to make that work. I would cut a Felwar Stone for it, honestly. Siphon Mine's randomly kind of expensive, I guess. It's very good value, but I don't think we need it. The Forge Master also can go. It has good synergy here, but there's just not a lot of artifacts that we need to be tutoring up with the Forge Master, and it's still a lot. Like sacrificing 3 artifacts, especially if we don't have like a treasure engine going on. I just don't think it's worth it, and yeah. We can also take out the Bantu. The Bantu is good, but we have so much card draw, I think, in this deck at this point that we don't need it. Prosper's also quite good. These are good. Oh, we don't have any constructs for the Recombiner anymore. I think at this point, we just have to make the tough call of starting to cut our most expensive cards, and we're just going to replace them with cheaper versions, and not think too much about it, honestly. So, like, the Manufacturer, it's a great card here, but if we're trying to get to $50 mark, we're going to have to make some cuts, and it's going to be the high-value cards that are going to be gone now. So we're going to take out the Manufacturer. We're going to take out the... I guess I'd probably take out the Storm before the Manufacturer, actually. Nah. How much is Revel in Riches? I think Revel in Riches is like a stupid expensive, right? Yeah, it's $18. No. No, thank you. What's Quicksmith's Genius? At this point, folks, I'm just gonna be adding cards that are cheap. Ooh, oh, wow! This card's amazing. Thank you. This is what I like. Quicksmith Genius. Again, Fane the Broker. I don't like Fane that much. I think he dirtles too much, but I do just need to fill out the deck at this point. So I will put in Fane, even though I don't like him. Oh, he's still $1 actually. Yeah, we could probably do better than still. He just doesn't. He just kind of sits there. I don't know. You sacrifice a creature, you put some counters, you remove a counter, you make a treasure. You sacrifice an artifact, you make a token. I don't know. It just doesn't do enough for me. What was jury? Was jury good? So when you sacrifice a permanent, oh yeah, jury's great. I'll put in jury. Reckless, Fireweaver, sure. Crashing Drawbridge, yeah. We're already putting counters on our creatures with treasures. The problem is, if we don't have any other ways of putting counters on our creatures other than Kalain, right? So if you're putting all your eggs on the Kalain basket, you're going to be setting yourself up for disappointment when Kalain just gets removed. Like, he'll just get killed, or he'll just be board wiped or whatever. And then if you have any cards that are reliant on having counters, then that sucks. Like, if we have cards that are reliant on making treasures, that's a little bit different, because Kalain's not our only way of making treasures. We have like a billion ways of making treasures. So cards that benefit off making treasures are very good. But if you have just one card that makes counters and you build off that, it's not very good. Well, gosh, it's getting a little bit hard to make the cuts at this point. Because, like, there's a lot of really cool cards that I would like to keep in. Because, like, I think the Manufacturer kind of gives the deck more of an identity. And Storm is kind of cool. Varagoth can go. Prosper is also pretty much on brand. I really want to keep the Statuary in here, too. I might just increase the budget, honestly. I might just like throw in the towel and be like, you know what? You know what? We're just gonna keep it like this. So I think like Varagoth could be cut for something cheaper. Actually, we do need to make one cut anyway, right? So maybe I'll just cut like Varagoth. That might be just it. I don't know if we need Dargo. You may sacrifice any number of. I don't. Does Dargo work with Kalain the way I don't think it does, right? Like, if you pay treasures to cast. Wait, yeah, you could sacrifice. You could sacrifice treasures, and then spend that mana to cast Dargo. Dargo will be that much cheaper. And he gets a bunch of tokens, and he's just a huge beater, right? We could just go up. I mean, we could just go $63. I don't know. I think that's fine. I think is Disciple of the Vault better? I think it is. Than the Fireweaver. How much is Disciple of the Vault? Oh, it's target opponent, so it's a little bit worse. But it is still decent. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with this. Havoc Jester is Havoc Jester is good, yeah. I like Havoc Jester. I think maybe we just like cut out the contract skilling. It's like the most expensive thing. Though it is very cute. Maybe because Dargo's just like a really big beater. I think I like Havoc Jester. I like just pinging creatures for value. Even though it's like 5 mana, it's a lot, but like Grim Hireling is also expensive. Yeah. It's $3. I don't know. I'm okay just like making a $63 deck. Like we aim for $50, but I just don't want to cut like all the really cool cards that make treasures interesting to play. Like we don't have Dockside, we don't have the dragon. I think the dragon's the only card that I'm like, you know, it would be really nice. Wait, not Goldspan. This is the only card that I would be like, you know, if you can afford it, throw it in there, but it is a lot of money, so I don't want to. I like Grim Hireling though. I think it's a good card here. I don't really want to cut it. So Jury was really good. $20, yeah. $20 is a lot for a Magic card, I would say, personally. I think twice if I have to spend $20 on a Magic card, personally. Whenever Artifact. Oh, clicked on the wrong thing. I'm just making one more pass on stuff that we might have missed. Gauntlet's either hard, it's a cute way. 6 mana, take an extra turn. Hellkite Tyrant's an interesting way to win the game. Xava. Each other you control +1/+1 on it has haste. Again, it's very reliant on Kalain doing its thing, and if you don't have Kalain on the battlefield, it's not a +1/+1 counter deck, so I don't like it. So like Hellkite Tyrants definitely would be an interesting card for the deck. But Marionette Master is gonna get it done just as well, I think, and it's gonna be a fraction of the price. Painsmith, Piezo Revolution, non-token. Oops a daisy. Recast an artifact spell. Nope. Whenever a non-token. Nope. Oh yeah, it was like Underhanded Designs. Did I keep that in the deck? Destroy target creature. Yeah, I'd probably like cut out like Terminate at this point to keep things like cute. To keep the cuter cards in there. What was the other thing? Whenever discard. Because I have a lot of looting going on. So is there any payoff here that we're doing? Whenever you cycle or discard another card, you may put a -1/-1 counter. This would be pretty good on the deck too, honestly. Instead of like Chain Reaction, you just throw in that. What if I snuck that in? Ho 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 ho. Yeah, it's probably gonna be like a $70 deck, whatever. is another interesting way of generating more value. Again, we have so much discard outletting stuff that we can like kind of like swap around some of the weaker card draw options, which there aren't even that many left in the deck. But I would probably take out like Costly Plunder instead of it. I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just like nitpicking though. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you can discard draw. It's kind of cool. We have a decent amount of red creatures too. Yeah, at this point, I'm tweaking. I think the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check EDH Rec. I'm gonna look at the Kalain that the average person makes, and see if there's like anything like obvious that we're missing here. High synergy cards. Brass's Bounty was there. It's good. It is good. But it's also like not amazing. I don't know. Whoop. Goldspan Dragon, obviously. Revel and Rich is good too. Don't agree with like Exava. I don't think Impulsive Pilfer is good enough. These are all cards that we've considered. Yep. Nadia's leaves the battlefield. Each opponent. Ooh. Woof. What? This card's good. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, you just want to lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's worth the extra mana, I believe. Nadir's Nightblade. I'm gonna add that, and I'm gonna replace it, the Fire Weaver with it. I think it's better. I mean, Orcus is also kind of interesting. I think I like it more than Unearth. That's a cool one. Let's do, instead of Unearth, we do Orcus. Whoops. Yeah, the Pilferer does have Encore. That is true. So I'm enjoying these cards. Oh, the Recombiner needs to get out. I forgot about that card. Alright, we'll put in back the Reckless Fireweaver, I think. Yeah, I think the Nightblade's online. The problem is there's a bunch of cards that aren't online, but whatever. Yeah. Ooh, I like you find some prisoners is a very good card. I just don't want it in here. Yeah, I think this deck is good. Artifact, good short Planeswalker. Maybe instead of Terminate, I'll put in the Encore guy, and then I think that's it. I think we're golden after that, honestly. Actually, maybe Brass's Bounty instead. Yeah, I'll put in Brass's Bounty. That's a little bit more explosive. Probably a good way of closing out the game if we have some payoff for it. Okay. We're still under $70. I'm just gonna call it $70 even though we're at 66. Or about 66.6. Haha. Alright. That is where we're at for this deck. I think it's pretty darn solid. We didn't get to $50. I apologize on that. But I really didn't want to cut some of the cooler cards. So basically, the deck is pretty low to the ground, lots of creatures. The idea is to basically drop like some of our early mana rocks, and more importantly, our treasure creators. So we got like Forsworn Paladin, we got Kalain, we got Horde Robber, we got Hoarding Ogre, and just like a bunch of ways of making incidental treasures as well while we're looting or killing things. A bunch of stuff that just makes tokens, and that's basically our main game plan. Our secondary game plan is I added a little bit of a looting sub theme to it. So we have like Faithless Looting. We have these cards that make treasures when they loot, so like Windfall and Seize the Spoils and Pirates Pillage and whatnot. We have ways of getting extra value out of cycling with like Bag of Holding. We can remove, or we could drop down Anger into the graveyard, so we get easy haste. We can set up for a big Orcus, Prince of Undeath, and return a bunch of creatures from our graveyard to the battlefield, which is really good. We have treasure payoffs like Grim Hireling, Kalain, obviously, and then a bunch of ways of like sacrificing artifacts for value, like Armix, pinging opponents when we make artifacts like Reckless Fireweaver, cheating out a big Herald of Anguish, burning people to death with Marionette Master, killing things with Havoc Jester, all of this sort of stuff. So the deck seems really good. I don't know. It has a lot of potential. I might play a version of it on Magic Online, but I will have to make a lot of significant changes to the deck because there's a bunch of cards that aren't going to be available online, unfortunately. Anything from the Commander deck, like Bucknard's Everfull Purse and the Reckless Endeavor and the Grim Hireling, all of these cards are not available online. So I would have to make some serious swaps. So I'll consider it. Maybe I swap them out for a non-budget version and go like gold span dragon or something like that instead. But we'll see. Anyway, that's it, everybody. I'm crashing from my sugar high. So I'm gonna call it here. We had a nice 2-hour stream. We busted out a pretty sweet Kalain deck, I think. I'm gonna add it to the document. And yeah, thanks everybody for joining. And yeah, we'll be doing this again next week, same time. And Wednesday, we're going to be doing a gameplay video. Gameplay stream. It's going to be Commander Clash Live, by the way. I'm going to share with you the people who are going to be on it. It's going to be me, Seth, Tom, the return of Tom, and also the return of Jennifer. So it's actually going to be like the season 4 Commander Clash crew. I think it's season 4. Reunited. I was just gonna say reunited. And I'm really excited for it. We've never played together in like 4 years or something like that. So I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a ton of fun. Maybe I'll play a version of Kalain. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. And until next time, friends. See ya.